or RBI.co. Reuters reports 18 U.S. states sued President Donald Trump's administration on Friday to stop him from scrapping a key component of Obamacare, subsidies to insurers that help millions of low-income people pay medical expenses, even as Trump invited Democratic leaders to negotiate a deal. One day after his administration announced plans to end the payments next week, Trump said he would dismantle Obamacare step by step. His latest action raised concerns about chaos in insurance markets. The subsidies cost $7 billion this year, and according to congressional analysts, were estimated to be $10 billion for 2018. Trump's action took aim at a critical element of the 2010 law, his Democratic predecessor Barack Obama's signature domestic policy achievement. Frustrated by the failure of his fellow Republicans, who control both houses of Congress, to repeal and replace Obamacare, Trump has taken several steps to chip away at it. Democratic attorneys general from 18 states, as well as Washington, D.C., filed a lawsuit in federal court in California asking the court to force Trump to make the next payment. Legal experts said the states were likely to face an uphill battle in court. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
According to a report released Monday, Americans currently lead the world in compressing big sandwiches into sufficiently biteable sizes, outranking countries such as Germany, Slovenia, and Ukraine in their sheer capacity to squeeze BLTs, meatball subs, and grinders into shapes that will easily and efficiently fit into their open mouths. Researchers pointed out that in series after series of tests, Americans consistently topped international rankings by implementing over 800 pounds per square inch of compressive force on sandwich categories as diverse as banh mi, croque monsieurs, or gyros, rarely hesitating for more than a moment before diving in and pushing the bread together and wedging it into their mouths.
Even in the cases in which Americans failed to sufficiently compress a sandwich and, say, dropped a stray piece of bacon or avocado, they still led the pack on quickly scooping up this topping with their hands and eating it, sometimes even inventively doing so with a stray potato chip or french fry.
This is the Onion News Network.
Aria.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just typing out that I stopped hearing the studio just before you started talking, but until that I could hear it. How are you?
All right, I think we are live.
Like live on the air at this moment?
Yes, like live on the air. So, how are we doing tonight, guys? So, we are live in the studio, but we're all by ourselves. So, we can't hear... Yeah, I don't hear the audio coming from the radio station at all. So anyway, hopefully we are on the air and not broadcasting dead air right now. That would be nice. But we've got guests that are coming in tonight. I've been trying to get this thing put together so that we could do that, and at the same time. Get all this stuff put together. If it's my first time trying to run the whole thing by myself, so make sure audio server is potted up and turned on. Which audio server? Yep. And
well, hopefully Tom's iPad will work. I never had any luck getting my phone to connect directly.
I don't know. Hopefully it will. I have sent him a link for him to join.
So how are things going up there in New Hampshire?
Man, it is crazy up here. We just got a really major repair that we just finished. I just sent the link for our guests for tonight. Hopefully they will be ready to rock and roll when we get going. But we're gonna have Benjamin Levitin and Zachary from the BitPlus network. They're going to be coming in to discuss their sponsorship of us, as well as this point of sale thing that they've got going on. That basically it's putting putting it in the hands of the people. You know, it puts it in the hands of you know, the people who are the merchants, the people who are between you and your transaction, the people who are between you and what you want to buy. So that's what's going on here, is we're going to have this discussion with these guys who have designed this whole point of sale, where it's a smart point of sale. That the way it works is, from what I understand, you make your payment at the point of sale, like at Applebee's or Walmart or, you know, McDonald's or wherever it is that you happen to be. You make that sale, that sale at that POS, and you can use Bitcoin, Litecoin, Altcoin, Darkcoin, Purple Coin, Potcoin. It's a party coin, Dogecoin, whatever it is that you can come up with. You can use it there, and it will automatically create like a BitPay style thing, where you are then sent, your money is sent into like a BitPay style thing, and that then credits them a cash amount rather than a Bitcoin or whatever it is amount. As far as my understanding is, it'll also be international currency smart as well. So these people will come on in a few minutes after the first segment, after our little monologue here, to discuss this in much greater detail than I can, because I, as you guys know, am one of the most technologically illiterate hicks that you'll ever meet. I can barely write email and do Facebook, but
hey,
that's
so Zach and Ben are here. Ben's signing in so that we have audio. We got these like lav mics that won't let us hear while we're talking at the same time, so you got to give Ben a second to log in.
Awesome. So yeah, we were just actually talking about the fact you were going to be joining us in a little while. You can turn the video off because nobody can see it. At least I don't think on our broadcast they can. Now, we're also going to be taking live calls after we get a chance for you guys to, introduce yourselves and talk about the concepts and stuff and the things that you're going to be doing after our first break. We'll be basically what we'll do is we'll bring you guys on and do a quick little interview with you and let you talk about.
I'm downloading it right now.
Yeah.
What's going on with you guys? So, but I am definitely going to have to. There we go. So, yeah, we've got Aria with us. We're trying to get Tom in the room with us. Tom is supposed to be... Oh, there's Tom right there. So, Tom's going to be with us remotely. How you doing tonight, Tom?
Well, I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, looking out at the beautiful waves of the Atlantic Ocean and wondering why in the heck you're making me do a show tonight while I'm on vacation.
Don't do the show. Go away.
I'm kidding.
Hopefully we'll have Ian Freeman on. I actually had somebody that was supposed to be in your slot tonight, but he had to go to the to an ACLU dinner. So he had like some big thing that he was doing. So once he gets here, you can go away. You don't have to stay. I mean, I love you. You know what I'm saying? But
once your replacement gets back from the ACLU dinner, you can just go away. That's what every recovering Republican needs to hear, Will. We've replaced you with a guy. He's at the ACLU dinner right now. And you can just go away when he gets back.
Well, we're going to be having a discussion. I don't know how interested you are in this kind of stuff, Tom. We're going to be having a discussion with Ben Levitin, who just joined us again.
A little bit low, is it not?
You sound just fine to me, Ben. Now we're going to be joined by Zachary Silva and Benjamin Levitin from bitplus.network. They're going to be discussing their upcoming sponsorship of the show, as well as their great new point of sale program that they have basically put together. They were at a really big conference in San Francisco this week of cryptocurrencies and computer security. So we're also going to be talking to them about their experience at that event, this past weekend. Let's see here. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to have Tom and Aria on the server. So while Ben and Zachary are working out their audio issues, we're going to basically have them muted. But we've been doing a whole lot of work here in New Hampshire on this mosque and interfaith center that we've been working on putting together. We just updated our LaunchGood fundraiser page at launchgood.com, www.launchgood.com/Malik Center. That's MALICCENTER. We just updated that, added some new pictures and stuff like that to the fundraiser. Uploaded some new video, added that to the fundraiser. Talked about some of the great stuff that we've been able to do up there. The interfaith work that's been started through us coming up here. Tons of people, dozens of people coming together in order to what's the word I'm looking for here? Just help. Literally people driving 100 miles one way to work and then donate money. So, that's just moving. All right, well, when we get back here, we're going to be talking to the guys from BitPlus Network on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. We've got a great show lined up for you guys tonight. First time in the studio by ourselves, so you're just gonna have to deal. Tom, how you doing?
Well, William, I once again by the Atlantic Ocean. Not really wondering why I'm here. I love liberty. I love everything when I'm by the ocean. You can pretty much get me to do anything. But I am technically on vacation, but I consider this to be part of my vacation because I don't get paid to go on vacation and I don't get paid to do this. Although, we're about to change that, aren't we?
Right. We are. And we are going to change that because we have an amazing new sponsor who is with us tonight. See, we've been joined by the guys from the Bit Plus Network. Now, that would be Mr. Mr. Benjamin Levitin and Mr. Zachary Silva. And they are joining us tonight, I'm thinking from San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. Are you guys there?
Yep, we're here.
Hello?
Trippy.
Right, that was a serious echo. Hey, Benjamin, are you there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Do you guys have any headphones so that we're not echoing all over the place?
Yeah, I have a pair of headphones. Yeah, let me just switch the setup here. We tried to do something a little complicated with two mics.
Yeah, so that
but we can
you
do
be able
that.
to hear us both, good and clear. Trying to have the best audio production possible for your great show here.
Wow, see, now I hear you really good, Zachary. But I'm still getting a little bit of an echo from
Is
you
this better?
guys.
Can you hear us now?
That's even more echo.
Yeah. Yeah, how is this?
Much better.
We did
Awesome.
lead into the segment with
All right,
Floyd,
so-
so I suppose the audience is expecting.
All right, so Benjamin and Zachary, which one of you guys is the technical guy? Who's the program, or is it
Well,
both
we're
of
all
you guys?
technical. Evgeny is not with us. He's our developer, and he works on a different time zone. So he's not available for this call, but we could come back and have him with us some other time.
Absolutely. We'd love to have him on to do a little, to get in a little more detail about this. So tell us a little bit about the Bit Plus system.
Sure. Zach, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. So overall, the Bit Plus network is about providing a network of services where blockchains are a plus, right? So we're providing software services that most businesses should use, like VoIP services. Our main product, first product actually, Interactify, deals with voice interactions. It deals with your voice menus for your business, deals with Facebook messages, and like all the channels that are coming in to you, and it helps you communicate out to your customers too. So most businesses should find that useful. And then we have a point of sale system we're building out that most businesses should find useful, once again, because everybody's going to process transactions at their point of sale. And I really think that our methodology of bringing cryptocurrency to merchants through giving them tools that they'll really want to use because they're useful to them first, and that have cryptocurrency integration as a secondary bonus thing, will really drive adoption of our systems overall and of cryptocurrency too.
Yeah, exactly. That's our focus. That's why we call ourselves Bit Plus, because Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general is a plus. It's not the primary motivation factor of why merchants want to use our system. We sell the point of sale on being a better overall point of system than other solutions on the market. And then what we really are is a relationship company. We build relationships with the merchants. And then once we get to know them, we introduce them to other technologies such as cryptocurrency.
Yeah, so we're really evolving beyond from this point of sale paradigm into a new paradigm of point of interaction, where it's really about the real interactions between merchants and their customers.
So exactly how smart is this smart program going to be? Like, will you be able to use any cryptocurrency you want? Would you be able to will it be quickly compatible with multiple foreign currencies?
Yeah.
So as far as cash accounting, that's like really easy. It works like any other point of sale system. As far as like cryptocurrency integration, we already have a BitPay plugin. So you can accept Bitcoin and convert it to USD immediately if that's what you want to do as a merchant, or you could set, 50% Bitcoin, 50% cash, or like 50%, or more like 80% cash and like 20% Bitcoin.
It really just depends on your business model. Some merchants, if they're only making a 20% profit margin and they have to pay their suppliers, they may want to do 80% in fiat.
Yeah,
it really just depends on your business.
Yeah, and as far as other cryptocurrencies, we're going to integrate Shapeshift to make it easy for businesses to take other accept other cryptocurrencies, either directly or to move that Shapeshift money into Bitcoin and then move that through BitPay.
Very cool. So you guys are working with BitPay, excuse me, on your development.
Answer that question. We haven't reached out to BitPay directly, but what we've done is we've built a BitPay plugin. So we have a front-facing screen. It's an iPhone. Sorry, the delay is a little bit awkward. But basically, it's an iPhone and Android app, an iOS and Android app. And what we've done is we've made it so any merchant can enable this technology without having to buy any additional hardware. You could literally run our front-facing screen on a $30 Amazon Fire tablet. And that's really what's great about our technology. So when the merchant checks out, they can select what payment method, traditional credit cards, they can select cryptocurrency, and then it can display the QR code. But even on the processing side, we save the merchant a lot of paper by offering them the ability to email a receipt and to sign on the screen, which is definitely a plus.
Very awesome. I mean, I'm so glad that I'm able to be one of the first, radio shows in the LRN network to kind of shine a light on you guys and what you're doing. To me, this whole concept, this whole POS concept that you have is mind blowing. I mean, especially the compatibility of it and your ability. Like you guys are talking about going to Ghana. You're talking about putting them like in places in South America. So basically. The only limit is really
our focus is the U.S. and Canadian market because we understand those markets very well. We also have signed up several sales reps, that sell merchant services full time. One of them is a woman named Diane, and she sells 3 other point of sale systems. So right now we're focused on getting merchants here in the U.S. and Canada, but we also announced the Social Entrepreneurship Initiative, where we're going to offer subsidized systems to developing countries and developing markets.
Yeah, and what's really cool about that is that, we're making people in third world countries and developing countries stakeholders in the cryptocurrency revolution. We're allowing them to accept it for their businesses, and we're making having businesses that scale.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same great prices, and LRN gets a cut. Please do your online shopping at shop.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
I just got to. It's the closest thing I can get to going back home.
I just got away from home for a week. You're trying to pull me back with this stuff.
We'll see if Flats and Scruggs are a little less hot on the dollar as far as the intellectual property violations. Our live feeds have been pulled every week because of the of a Bill Monroe song that plays in the normal old, before we were doing this live on time, for every intro and outro. And it's definitely, interesting at the very least that was the song out of all the stuff we've played. It was that got us kicked.
It's the one that triggered the IP algorithm.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy that it was the bluegrass song, Bill Monroe. But I hear Bill Monroe was an SOB when it came to like being a greedy bastard when it came to music. So I guess it makes sense.
I think it's just amazing that you and I were raised in Appalachia and we can't tell different banjo music apart, but their algorithm can.
For real, yeah.
Within a few notes. I mean, that's pretty good.
So now, Ben and Zachary, tell us a little bit about this conference that you guys have been at.
So a couple days ago, we were at the Social Capital Conference, which was a pretty cool event. It's basically an event about social entrepreneurship. We went there, met up with some people we were recommended to by a mutual friend, got inspired, kind of came up with some tweaks to our social entrepreneurship initiative, spoke with the people at Nordic Impact Week, produced a video, and, it was a pretty good time. And I think we've met some good connections that'll help us as we expand into a global market.
Absolutely.
So what did you see when you were there that was particularly eye-catching?
Well, we saw a lot of different people doing all different types of things. We had an opportunity to talk about our product, but it was a really interesting conference.
It was just great to see all these people who are participating in entrepreneurship for social good, right? There's a lot of people out there that want to do philanthropy, that just want to give people money and, just let it be. But social entrepreneurs care about treating these underprivileged people as customers and making them feel valued and a part of a process rather than just the end recipients of it. And social entrepreneurship is what really changes economies rather than just raw foreign aid.
Oh yeah, I think the coolest thing that we saw was this woman who has a company that grows wood, and they distribute. Basically, you grow enough for a small investment. You can grow enough to offset your carbon footprint, but at the same time, they harvest the wood, and 20% of the profits go to you. So it's actually a pretty win-win situation.
Yeah, you get your carbons offset for your whole lifetime, and you make a profit at the end of the life cycle of the trees too.
Right on.
Yeah, we inspired the woman, I think, to use blockchain technology. She was very interested in tokenizing, her endeavor, and doing it in a way where customers could have some liquidity if they didn't want to even wait the full harvest period. Anyway.
So guys, for the members of our audience who are uninitiated, can you explain in layman's terms blockchain technology?
Blockchain technology is a way of providing accountability by consensus, right? In financial systems, there is an incentive to make wrong entries, right? To double spend, to create fake money and all of this. Blockchain technology prevents bad entries by encouraging people to work with the network by rewarding them for only adding valid entries, right? Bankers are granted the privilege of putting negative numbers out there, and that causes all these really high settlement fees and this transactions to take a long time. Nobody has the privilege of issuing negative numbers on a blockchain, right? Numbers are real, they are there, everything is accounted for, and that's why settlement is really quick and it's provable, and it always happens, unlike in the banking system where they can create negative numbers at will.
So let's say I own a company, right? And all I've heard about is this new thing called Bitcoin, and I don't know anything about it.
Right.
Who would I need to contact, and what would I need to do to begin accepting it as payment? Obviously, it would be you guys, but what mechanisms do you have in place for that to happen?
Well, we're not the only game in town, but what's interesting is we're the only company, as far as I'm aware, that's making it easy to use. So, for example, BitPay, the company we recommended, is really the best solution for merchants because first of all, it's free for up to the first 10,000 per year. And after that, I think they charge a very small 1% fee, but you can settle whatever percentage you want in dollars, which is perfect for merchants that have to pay their suppliers. Anybody can get started, but the problem is that merchants don't want to have a separate accounting system to account for all of their transactions, whereas with our system, it's all unified into one, point of sale system, and we really hold the merchant's hand the whole way. We have a call center, there are people to talk to, and that's kind of what's lacking with cryptocurrency. So, we can work with the merchants to give them all the tools they need to be successful with their cryptocurrency integration. It all comes in by default with the BitPlus system. But the interesting thing is if you go to the BitPay website, you'll find that other terminals, I don't know if you've been in like a Domino's Pizza or like big merchants, they have these branded terminals called Ingenico. And there's a couple others too. They've built cryptocurrency integrations. But the funny thing is that if you want to use that, the terminals are actually programmed by the merchant processing company. So you could call your merchant processing and be like, oh, Ingenico has a BitPay integration. They won't even know what you're talking about. And they don't want to enable it because if you download that software onto your terminal, you have another option that competes with their processing in which they can charge you really exorbitant, very, very high fees. So the merchant processors are very much in bed with the POS companies, and there's absolutely no incentive for any of them to really offer this cryptocurrency integration. And that's where we come into play. We're a traditional merchant service card company. We provide all the things all the other guys do, but we're also friendly to crypto.
So yeah, your starting point would be BitPay so that you'd have an easy way to convert Bitcoin to US dollars. If you're an e-commerce merchant, you would check, if your existing stuff is compatible with BitPay. And then if you're a retail merchant that needs point of sale, talk to us because we're providing the best solution for that.
All right, so
our specialty is retail.
All right, Ari, I know you got one more in there.
One more question?
Yeah, come on now.
Sure. So do you guys provide the hardware? Because I've been thinking about this a lot in terms of credit card processing and how that began. So eventually there's going to need to be some sort of actual hardware machine that makes this happen seamlessly for the end users and for the merchants. Do you guys have plans for anything along those lines?
Yeah, we sell a piece of hardware, and we have a really great solution. In fact, when we have one of our first merchants, you guys are in New Hampshire, we have a merchant up in Maine. It's a grow supply store, pretty big merchant. In fact, one of the biggest businesses in the area. Growing is a huge industry up in Maine, and Grow, we sold the system to Grow Depot based on just being an overall better system. They were considering, continuing with QuickBooks. They had bought QuickBooks many years back, but they didn't, continue the support agreement. So when they were looking at it, they would have, the single store edition is like $2,500 just for the software, but the multi-store is like $4,500 per store or something like that. So, plus they would have to buy all new computers. What we sell is our BitPlus box. It's a little, a very small computer about the size of a child's hand.
All right,
you plug your cash drawer, you plug your receipt printer, you plug your barcode scanner, you plug all that into the box. The retail price on the box is $9.99. For listeners, we have a substantial discount that we can talk to you about privately. But that's our retail price, so it's very cost effective as compared to other solutions on the market. With Square.
So we'll be back here in a second. We're going to talk about subsidizing third world systems on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
This is the Onion Week in Review. According to a Stanford University study released Wednesday, there is no logical reason why planes are able to fly. Reiterating that they fully understand the concepts of lift, thrust, and propulsion, lead physicists told reporters they were still unable to reasonably explain how a large 500,000-pound object is capable of staying up in the air without falling.
We've come up with several theories, including wind propulsion, some sort of gravity suspension effect, also the possibility that the clouds pull the plane skyward, but beyond that, just don't understand how a large metal tube could just kind of float in the air like that. And it's going at like 500 miles per hour, which means that when I'm on a plane, I'm also going 500 miles per hour? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, why is my hair blowing back and forth?
The Stanford team added they plan to devote the next 2 years to a new study on why telephones can hear. In other news, an urban planner is stuck in traffic of his own design, and a kid screams behind a passenger during an entire plane crash. Visit theonion.com/newsbeat for more.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. And we've been joined tonight by the guys over at the Bit Plus Network. And they've been talking about the great program that they've put together and some of the cool things that they've been doing. They just did a crypto conference in San Francisco. And I've also got my normal co-hosts with me, Mr. Tom Gray, who's broadcasting live from the shores of the Atlantic. That's what you hear in the background. That. Now, if you want to call in, if you've got any questions during this last segment for our guests, you're welcome to call us on the LRN Skype line. That's LRN.FM Skype line. call in, ask these guys a question in the last 10 minutes or so of the first segment. Before that, though, I wanted to ask you guys about the subsidy program that you guys talk about, where you're taking the investment, the investments of the investors, and they're using that to subsidize planting these POS systems in places like Africa and South America? Is that what?
So basically, people who are purchasing the POS systems in first world countries, right, in places where there's plenty of wealth going around, they are going to help subsidize systems for people in less fortunate areas, right?
Yeah.
And we're not going to be like giving away the stuff for free anywhere, right? But we're going to be doing like some very reduced costs for merchants that need it in, a lot poorer countries.
Yeah, we're making it clear, and I like to use the word developing countries and developed countries because they're definitely developing, and depending on which country you're talking about, it's not necessarily just everyone is poor, but there are different levels of development. And we're not using our token holder. People who are who are purchasing our tokens right now, they're not paying for that. It's the merchants that are using our solution that are paying for that will help pay for the merchants in the developing world.
Yeah, so kind of like the Tom Shoe program, sign up as a merchant, help another merchant.
That's awesome. I think the whole idea of like trying to help out establish this in the developing world is really, really forward thinking, especially like I saw in Kenya, where my wife is from, that you had a huge increase in the interest in Bitcoin after they passed the value-added tax. I actually made a Bitcoin cryptocurrency-related pitch to my father-in-law as a way to help those poor people there avoid that value-added tax, and it was successful. It was something that people actually decided to do, but it was so much so, unfortunately, that basically what happened was they decided that now, instead of not only taxing the transaction itself, they were going to tax the item. So like what we were doing was trying to help people get around the tax that was being attached to food. So what you would do is you would go and you would labor at these farms, and they would pay you in Bitcoin, and then you would use the Bitcoin to buy your chickens and milk and things like that. And what happened was then they started taxing people for every chicken they owned. And Bitcoin was a way that they tried to get around it, and they found another way to try to tax them. But all of these different countries have these different really oppressive taxes that, this could really facilitate a lot of, fixing hunger, fixing poverty in these places.
About our model is that it's totally dependent on the merchant in terms of what plugins and what services they want to enable. So we're not here to tell merchants, go avoid taxation, even though, we're not a fan of taxation. But what we allow the merchant to do is to make individual choices based upon, their business. So at some point, we'd like to, let's just say we have 10,000 merchants all around the world in different locations. We'd like to enable merchants that have like the ability to have a money transmission license, or if they have the ability to do different things, we could potentially, build this ecosystem where we could compete with the likes of Western Union and other companies. So it's totally based on the operator model. If a merchant wants to use a specific solution, it's just a matter of enabling it. And we can help facilitate that.
Awesome. All right, guys. So you've got 5 minutes. Okay. The two of you have 5 minutes to tell our listeners, our listening audience. And now these are listeners, there are people listening in South America and South Africa at this moment. So tell our listeners why they should invest in the BitPlus network and why they should be interested in furthering what you guys are doing.
Because technically, we're not offering any kind of security, and we have a very clear statement in our white paper that defines exactly what our token is. What you're doing basically is you're purchasing our services at a discount. We're treating these tokens like a gift card liability for our company. And the advantage to doing that is right now you're getting it on the ground floor, and the price per token is 20 cents per token.
This week.
Yeah, this week, and so get in quickly because the ICO price is $1, and we're going to be raising the price, consistently up until the ICO. We've raised a couple $100,000 so far. We believe that we'll be able to raise 20 million in token sales at the time of the ICO, and the reason being is how many merchants we've signed up and how many merchants we're continually signing up. So a lot of these other ICOs, they're just a white paper and a website, or maybe they're really solving some problems. But the reality is that merchants and business people and most people in the real world, they're not online Googling for the newest technological innovations. So, other people might be solving real problems, but we're actually on the ground, signing merchants up. And that's why we think our ICO is going to be bigger, than any of the other ICOs that are out there.
Plus, we're really taking care of what we're doing. We're not making outlandish 100,000x promises or anything like that. We're saying we're offering our services at a discount. We're saying that our tokens will be exchangeable in the secondary market, and we're saying that we're going to redeem our tokens above our initial sale rate, right? So merchants that get on the platform early will have significant discounts. People who want to evangelize for the platform will be able to help merchants get on and make a little money for themselves. And, through these tokens, we're all going to be able to participate in getting merchants on board with the cryptocurrency revolution. And we're all going to be able to show that it's wanted. Because once we've sold our tokens, right, let's say we've got $200 million worth of tokens out there. We've just proven there's $200 million of demand for cryptocurrency POS services. There's $200 million demand for our services overall, which will only lead to more business coming in. So we're really focused on building a sustainable model with reasonable, middle margin for the people participating without, making outlandish promises and under delivering. We're all about over delivering and, just staying on the low, just delivering on what we can and really do, not any real serious pie in the sky deal.
And that's what really separates us apart. We just signed up another merchant. We're going to be traveling up to Maine in a couple of weeks. It's a luncheonette inside the State House in Augusta, Maine, and they do a killer lunch business because none of their politician customers want to risk losing their parking spot to leave for lunch. So we're making strides every week with new merchants coming on board on the platform. Zach just signed up a merchant that's a very large merchant, a lifestyle brand in Florida that's very well known. There are bumper stickers of this brand all over the road. I mean, just one of the most popular brands in Florida, and they do $40 million a year in credit card sales. So we have some really exciting news and we can't wait to announce the name of that company because they're coming on board of our platform. And we have some very exciting announcements coming out in the next couple of weeks, days, and months.
So where can we find this ICO if we want to take part in it?
All right, you can find us at bitplus.network, https bitplus.network. You can also find us at Facebook, bitplus.network, pretty easily like that. We respond to all of our messages on Facebook. If you send us a message through the contact form on the website, we get back at those too. Right? If you're trying to get at us, we're here to listen to you.
There's absolutely nothing is ambiguous about our project. There's a lot of projects out there that have a lot of ambiguity. So if you have a question, we have an answer for you.
All right, when we get back, we'll have the Libertarian Drama of the Week and a whole lot more when we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Fact. The new NSA data center in Utah requires 1.7 million gallons of water every single day to operate. Billions of Fourth Amendment violations need massive computers and the water to cool them. That water is being supplied by the state of Utah. Fact. There's absolutely nothing in the Constitution which requires your state to help the feds violate your rights. Our message to Utah: turn it off. No water equals no NSA data center. Visit offnow.org.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news, on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, October 15th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.41 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,304 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 3.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $5,494. Antiwar.com reports Catalan President Carles Puigdemont is struggling to navigate a growing political storm following the suspended Declaration of Independence and Spain's issuing of an ultimatum demanding he formally disavow it. Puigdemont is now facing mounting pressure from his main political allies within Catalonia, who want an immediate declaration of independence without any further delays. Spain has threatened to arrest Puigdemont if he tries that, and has threatened to seize all of Catalonia under direct rule. Spain's ultimatum deadline is fast approaching, and Puigdemont's call for talks does not seem to be getting much support anywhere, with Spain ruling out talks and Catalan officials saying there's nothing left to talk about. Some EU officials have cautioned Puigdemont against moving forward, and while that has apparently raised some hope of mediation talks, it's not clear there are people interested in attending such talks, even if the EU were to offer. On October 1st, Catalonia voted overwhelmingly in favor of secession. Spanish police cracked out on voters, injuring over 800. Spain has insisted the vote does not count, while Catalan voters held massive rallies to protest the violence. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. UPI reports a report that online retail giant Amazon is eyeing an entry into the prescription drug sales market since shares tumbling for brick-and-mortar drugstore chains Walgreens and CVS on Friday. Amazon has been rumored to be considering a move into the drugstore business for months, though a report released by healthcare analyst Leerink earlier this month said it's highly likely Amazon will open a prescription drug delivery business sometime in the next 2 years. Representatives from Amazon declined to comment on the report. CNBC previously reported the company is expected to make a decision on whether to pursue a prescription drug sales strategy before Thanksgiving. Though Amazon has a lucrative history of disrupting other sectors of the U.S. economy, including electronics, houseware, media, and groceries, a move into the lucrative $560 billion per year prescription drug industry would be more difficult, according to experts. Drug sales are highly regulated by the FDA, making it likely Amazon would have to partner with an existing provider rather than start its own business from scratch. It would not, however, be the first time Amazon dipped its toes into the healthcare marketplace. In 1999, Amazon purchased the online drug sales site Drugstore.com. After failing to garner a significant share of the market, Amazon eventually sold Drugstore.com to Walgreens in 2011. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports 18 U.S. states sued President Donald Trump's administration on Friday to stop him from scrapping a key component of Obamacare, subsidies to insurers that help millions of low-income people pay medical expenses, even as Trump invited Democratic leaders to negotiate a deal. One day after his administration announced plans to end the payments next week, Trump said he would dismantle Obamacare step by step. His latest action raised concerns about chaos in insurance markets. The subsidies cost $7 billion this year, and according to congressional analysts, were estimated to be $10 billion for 2018. Trump's action took aim at a critical element of the 2010 law, his Democratic predecessor Barack Obama's signature domestic policy achievement. Frustrated by the failure of his fellow Republicans, who control both houses of Congress, to repeal and replace Obamacare, Trump has taken several steps to chip away at it. Democratic attorneys general from 18 states, as well as Washington, D.C., filed a lawsuit in federal court in California asking the court to force Trump to make the next payment. Legal experts said the states were likely to face an uphill battle in court. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Publicists everywhere agreed this week that the nation's celebrities are in dire need of more fame, stressing that all 6 billion of the world's populace should know every U.S. celebrity by name and face by now. Publicists are calling for an emergency influx of buzz, heat, press, and word of mouth to be administered to the nation's celebrities immediately in order to prevent crucial fame levels from becoming dangerously low. Novelist Edward Milligan told reporters this week that in his new book, By the Water's Edge, he has fleshed out in meticulous detail his own huge and stunningly shitty world. Using in-depth research and the power of his own imagination, Milligan was able to conjure out of thin air every hackneyed character, trite street name, and horseshit backstory in the fictional town of Connors Cove. The complete hack proudly said he has created a universe that readers will feel they can actually reach out and touch. Sources say the prolific writer has not yet been punched repeatedly in the face. In other news, McDonald's opens a new senior citizen play place.
This is the Onion News Network.
On the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Joined by my normal co-host, Mr. Tom Gray. How you doing today, Tom?
William, I am about as far south as I ever care to go.
And
that is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Well, Aria's a little bit further south than you, way down there in Mississippi.
I said I was as far south as I cared to go. Aria's braver than I am.
How you doing, Aria?
I'm good. How are you?
Enjoying
I'm
the
actually
hilarity.
not that far south anyway. I'm like 15 minutes south of Memphis, so I'm right at the Tennessee border.
I don't like going to Memphis either.
I don't blame you. Nobody likes going to Memphis.
Well, now, Aria, this is close to you. We've got shots fired.
Oh gosh, we do.
Oh Lord, have mercy, do we? But I mean, this is the only reason anybody listens to the show. So we have got to keep this, at least this one part of the show here, forever. We know it's everybody's favorite segment. The Libertarian Drama
like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. This is MacDonald Carey, and these are the days of our lives.
This is some stupid nonsense. But if you're a libertarian here lately, these are the days of our lives. So, he's changed it. He's changed it, Tom. He's changed it.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I got a notification. But he does still have the handle Alabama Liberty.
Alabama Liberty. So, Alabama Libertarians, I mean, and this is kind of down in your neck of the woods. It's just a little, a little ways away from you. But you've got this cat here. He is a big fan of, who's this guy in Alabama that he's a fan of?
Roy Moore.
Roy Moore. There we go. So he's a big Roy Moore fan.
How do you guys not know who Roy Moore is?
Because I've been busy with important stuff.
Arya, you've got to know who he is.
I have never heard the name.
You've never heard of Roy Moore. He's like one of those guys who wants to kill you. The problem is he used to be the Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court. He got censured twice, and now he's a Republican candidate for Senate. Not the state Senate, the United States Senate. And this guy, who used to be Anson Knowles, libertarian, has been trolling libertarian groups for weeks now, bashing the actual Libertarian Party candidate to stump for Roy Moore. And he's got an article here, The Dawning of Roy Moore Libertarianism.
Yeah, now we've got the wish they were a libertarian rag, Liberty Conservative, and we have Shane Trejo, one of Pepe's favorite Circle Jerk members. And he starts off, ever since Ron Paul retired from public life in 2012, libertarians have been completely rudderless. As much as libertarians may like to delude themselves that they do not need leaders, it has become abundantly clear that they need them as much as anyone. Without a strong leadership figure, libertarians have accomplished little other than being a national laughingstock. The post-Ron Paul era has been defined by nothing but folly and embarrassment for libertarians who stubbornly and unwilling to admit the political reality staring them in the face. Okay, I mean, it's really hard for me to read something by somebody who called me like a suicide bombing terrorist. So, I mean, like, once you've read something this idiot has written about you, it's really difficult to take anything that they say seriously. Like, literally, in the course of 3 articles that were released back to back to back, I was called a principled libertarian who stood for free speech because I refused to back down from the debate with Augustus Invictus even after Antifa attacked me. Then when the event didn't happen and it was like, oh, well, now we have to say that Augustus won because he wasted a bunch of money to go to Virginia to an event that didn't happen. I was called a jihadist and a terrorist and a possible suicide bomber. And then in the following one, my effort to raise money for the guy who gave the speech and had a heart attack was then lauded as a great humanitarian effort, and that I was being attacked by Muslim leftists. It's like, he's like the most schizophrenic person on the face of the earth.
He's like Linda Sarsour's doppelganger.
He's like, if Trump was writing for, wish we were, these pseudo libertarian rags, that they're basically they're hard right Republicans. That, I mean, I don't understand. They love Trump. I mean, if you were coming into the Libertarian Party, that makes sense because you're a Republican, you don't like Trump. But these guys, these are libertarians who were in the Libertarian Party. Many of them, oddly enough, supported me for vice president, and now they believe like the Muslims are taking over the world and that we're awful and shouldn't be here. But, in March of last year, they were supporting one to be the vice president of the country. I mean, it's just...
Did they know?
Yes, everyone knew.
Have you ever, actually done maybe, a survey? Is there, some subset of these Trumpertarians who, supported you and somehow had no idea you were a Muslim?
No, everybody
you were a guy
knew.
with a rockin' beard.
No, man, everybody knew. I mean, one of the hashtags around my thing was Muslim VP. Everybody that did any kind of anything about me. The fact I was Muslim was in the headline, except for the Huffington Post story that was written about me. That one they didn't put Muslim in the headline, but that makes sense because they're a left-wing publication, and showcasing the fact that I was a Muslim
and not a Democrat.
And not a Democrat in the headline, that would have been like, eh. And the author actually told me that,
white man.
Yeah, well, the author actually told me that like he had to be kind of careful with the article itself because he was worried that they wouldn't print it because it was an election season where whether or not a Muslim could hold any of these offices was a huge question. And yeah, so because of that, me running was like this big deal, and it was the libertarians again who were walking on political ground that the rest of the parties were afraid to even go near. I mean,
so I want to get back to this particular guy, though, this Anson Knowles guy that I've been following, to give people a flavor for exactly what kind of nut bar we're dealing with here. And again, this guy has run for office as a libertarian, capital L. He attacks Ron Bishop, who is the libertarian candidate for United States Senate in Alabama, on the grounds that he believes, quote unquote, there is a role for government in developing and maintaining infrastructure that is beneficial for all. Well, here's the thing. His boy Roy Moore believes in the same thing. I mean, he used to be a justice of a state Supreme Court. He just happens to believe that infrastructure should be used to persecute gay people. And when I say persecute, I possibly mean execute, maybe sterilize, at the very least marginalize. But there's some suggestion of a little bit more. So it's criticizing a libertarian who says there's some role for infrastructure and saying instead vote for this guy who says I've got a very clear version for what to do with the infrastructure of this country, and it's really, really bad for Will and Arya.
Well, I mean, if he wants to sterilize gay people, then he's dumb enough that he's not really worth listening to.
Well, I don't.
That's kind of pointless as far as actions go.
all the gay people are breeding. They just won't stop breeding by having homosexual sex. Yes, only Alabama. Only Alabama. Would you hear? Well, no, I'm. You know what? I'm probably. You probably hear stupidity like that over there in Mississippi too, Aria. Well, now when we get back here,
sure.
on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com. For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu 641-793-9660. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. I am your host, as always, your pusher, Mr. Will Coley, broadcasting now from the LRN studios here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. So move on up. Come on up here and live free with me. Most Bitcoin accepting businesses per capita in the entire world. I can get my brakes done, go grab a cheeseburger, have a guy come by and fix the drywall, and then go grab a new cartridge for my vaporizer. All never spending a single dollar of money. It's awesome. I'm absolutely loving that part about living up here. One of the things, other things that I'm loving about living up here is living around tons of actual libertarians. One of my neighbors is Libertarian Party presidential candidate Daryl W. Perry. One of my other neighbors is the host of Free Talk Live, Ian Freeman, the other host of Free Talk Live, Mark Hedge. I live right 20, 30 minutes away from the head of the Free State Project. I live around tons of libertarians, none of these fakes like what we're seeing down there in Alabama. Do you see this kind of stuff, Aria, in Mississippi as well?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact, the Mississippi LP is largely dominated by a more constitutionalist type of libertarian. I'm sure you're familiar with them. They're strong national defense. They believe in a strong national border. They're border hawks. They're not fans of immigration. And they're quote-unquote libertarians. That's mostly what not mostly, but there are a lot of them at least in Mississippi. And I'd assume that's going to be true for Alabama too. They're basically just Republicans who want to call themselves libertarians for some reason. I've yet to figure out why, and it sounds like this whatever the guy's name is who's shilling for Roy Moore is pretty much that. Tom, what did you say his name was?
His name is Anson Knowles, and even he now has stopped identifying himself as a libertarian. He changed the name of his page to Anson Knowles Libertarian Republican after and this was after
I'm an atheist Christian.
Well, I mean, look, I was one of these before I kind of realized the futility. I was trying to get some liberty-leaning things done in the Republican Party, and I ended up with Donald Trump. So I have taken a hiatus from banging my head against that particular wall. In fact, some of the more prominent people that I know in the Republican Liberty Caucus were seated as Libertarian Party delegates and are part of the reason you guys got Gary Johnson, because they had made so little traction in the GOP itself that that they came back to the LP. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry. I just had to, I blame...
You know the ones, though. You know the ones, Will.
I blame Rand Paul. I do. I blame Rand Paul because Rand Paul...
Did you see that part, though?
Rand Paul made selling out cool. See, I remember there was a time when Santorum was booed for his position on in the Arizona debate. He's here. Is this the part where he's like, "Oh,
I just saw a YouTube clip of you being interviewed where you said that you personally opposed contraceptives, but that you said that you voted for Title X. But you used that as an argument, saying this is something I did proactively. You didn't say this is something I was opposed to. It was something I would have done. You said this in a positive light. I voted for Title X.
I think I was making it clear that while I have a personal more objection to it, even though I don't support it, that I voted for bills that included it, and I made it very clear in subsequent interviews that I don't support that. I've never supported it, and on an individual basis have voted against it.
So basically, right?
What was Title X? I'm blanking here.
It was subsidy for. It was subsidy. Oh yeah, it was subsidy for fund for birth control. It was either birth control or abortion. But
yeah,
I remember those. I mean, he was talking about horse
Congressman
trading.
Paul, you've questioned the fiscal conservative credentials of all these gentlemen, but particularly this week, Senator Santorum. You have a new television ad that labels him a fake. Why? Because he's a fake.
That was the way things used to be with the libertarians. He's a fake.
No, I find it really fascinating
that was
when people are running for office, they're really fiscally conservative. When they're in office, they do something different, and then when they explain themselves, they say, "Oh, I want to repeal that." So the senator voted for No Child Left Behind, but now he voted for it, but now he's running on the effort to get rid of it. So I think the record is so bad, with the politicians. And,
Now, Ron Paul supporters at that debate, they booed Rick Santorum because basically his answer to that was, well, sometimes you got to trade bad votes for the good votes. And that's all I've heard them make excuses for Rand Paul for doing for the last 6-8 years now. 4 years. For the last 4 years, since his father dropped out of the Republican nomination in 2012, all I have heard is people make excuses for Rand Paul horse trading. And that's what he does. He horse trades votes. And then the same people who booed that celebrate it now. And that's why I blame Rand Paul, is because he made being a sellout cool. He made selling your values out okay, because his name and being connected to his father just overruled the ability to use logic and reason. It was like, it really, I guess it kind of exposed the hero worship that goes on with Ron Paul. Like, I love Ron Paul. He brought me in, he brought me to the liberty community. His views and ideas and the things that he discussed are part of what started me on. It was a book by Ron Paul I was reading while I was studying Islamic jurisprudence that brought me to where I am today. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to idolize his son. His son is not the Messiah. We're not talking about the son of and astaghfirullah. We're not talking about the son of God here, okay? We're talking about Rand Paul, Aqua Buddha. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah, your objections to Rand are duly noted. But let's keep in mind this guy was talking about Roy Moore and not Rand Paul. Roy Moore, the guy who from the bench.
Rand Paul was the first step down that hill.
Yeah, but Roy Moore is like a tumble all the way to the bottom and then down the well.
Why do you
You can't win if you don't enter, and you actually can improve your chances of winning a prize drawing if you wrinkle up your entry blank. I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com, and I speak from experience. Why this works: if they'll be spinning the drum before drawing, your entry blank will move around more than, and not adhere to, other perfectly flat entry blanks. And if they don't spin the drum and merely reach into a box full of other perfectly flat entry blanks, many of which are sticking together, yours will feel different to the person reaching in. When you win, act surprised. And if you're looking for work, this is a metaphor. For more tips on sticking out in a world where just too much blends into the blah, 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 hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Free Talk Live.
The people that fought the Korean War and, frankly, the Afghan War won because those people are the military-industrial complex. And what they wanted is they want things that go boom to go boom so that they can build more things that go boom. That the purpose of the war isn't freedom, it's not justice, it's not any of these higher concepts that, in fact, that the lives, minds, and bodies of the people that are going out there and fighting for these wars, that they are inconsequential to the politicians and the people for whom they work.
So you're saying the state won these wars, Vietnam and Afghanistan. The state won, but the individuals who fought the war, they're the ones that took the brunt of it. They're the ones that lost.
That's right.
And I totally agree. They do enough to make it seem like they're doing something and to keep us happy enough just to control it.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the LRN studios here in the mountains of beautiful Keene, New Hampshire now. Soon to be joined, I think, by my co-host, Miss Aria Demezio from anarchistshemale.com. And, you know, maybe one day we can convince Mr. Tom Gray to come up here and be free with us as well.
You keep talking about how much it sucks, you can't. I mean,
hey man, after I open a restaurant, you won't have to worry about the terrible service.
Oh yeah,
the people here are pretty cool, but the service is terrible.
Everybody wants to eat the lawyer's food. Sure.
I did find like this nice little spot. It's called Lindy's. It's right up my alley. We went there today and had pancakes and stuff like that, and you know, it wasn't too bad. I enjoyed the last few things that I had there, as a matter of fact. So, food there is good, and they actually have decent service. Had a teenage girl that did a really good job. So, it's not all bad. And like I said, I get to not use money. It's awesome.
Yeah, that is a really awesome feature.
For real, like it's kind of hard to get better than like I don't have to contribute to the War Machine financially for multiple purchases. I can get my brakes fixed without. I'm a conscious kind of guy, you know what I'm saying? Like my coffee is fair trade, literally. You know, my coffee's fair trade. I try to be a conscious consumer as much as I can be. And now I don't have I get to be a conscious spender in general on so many things. A vaporizer pen. The juice for my vaporizer. I could not do.
I mean, just vaping?
Well, I had to quit smoking cigarettes. You know, I had to. You know, I'm taking over a job as an imam in a mosque. I'm moving somewhere where cigarettes are $10 a pack. It was like, it's got to happen. You know, so I haven't had a cigarette since 2 weeks before we moved to New Hampshire.
Wow.
So that's 2 months at least now. So, and I mean, I feel a little better. Vaping isn't, you know, exactly a perfect, what's the word? Replacement. Nothing would be a perfect replacement, but we're working our way to nothing. You know, we're getting there. It's better than, you know, a pack and a half a day like it was before. So.
Hey, I know all about kicking an addiction, man. And nicotine's no joke.
I mean, smoking cigarettes makes me a madman. I mean, I continued to smoke even after it was starting to make me feel bad, like health-wise, because of the fact I don't like to be around myself when I don't smoke. Does that make sense?
Well, I don't like to be around you no matter what, and I seem to manage. So just think about that.
Did you just, no matter what you smoke or no matter what I smoke?
No matter what you smoke. Well, no matter what I smoke either, but I don't smoke anything. So.
Well, I'm just vaping now. So I am off the cigarettes. And I've got this, I'm not particularly happy with it. I got this little, it's called Sweet Tarts, and it tastes like Smarties instead of Sweet Tarts, and I was never really...
That's false advertisement. You should sue. If I got something that told me that it was going to be Sweet Tarts and I got Smarties instead, nope. Smarties are medicine.
For real, Smarties are medicine. We have so slid off the rails here, yo.
Well, here's the thing. Well, I was going to pick back up on our conversation about Santorum, but I'm staying at a family-friendly hotel, and when I tried to Google Santorum, I got caught in their content filter. So I guess that's still a problem for him on the old interwebs, the internet definition of Santorum. I don't think we can talk about it beyond that on the air, but it's a frothy issue.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have to Google that. I don't know. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
My point is if another country does to us what we do others, we're not going to like it very much. So I would say that maybe we ought to consider a golden rule in foreign policy. Don't do to other nations what we don't want to have them do to us. So
Isn't it so funny what the Republican Party is willing to boo? I mean, I just had to. Since we were talking about Santorum getting booed for horse trading votes, I just had to throw that in there so that you understood that, like, there was a whole portion of the Republican Party who vote, like, people use, like, oh, Trump's not a good Christian. Neither are the people who voted for him, yo. Like, these people literally boo the most central precept of their religion. I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, they didn't, because the religion is, statism, and the United States can't do any wrong.
They have. They've given up their religion for an idol. They really have. I mean, come on, Tom. You're a Christian, Tom. I don't want to be the one who's out there like wagging fingers and.
No, I'm nodding. I am nodding along with you. I mean, it's true, and honestly, sometimes it's a little bit hard these days to engage with other Christians because of this. And unfortunately, this includes my own family members, especially my wife's. I mean, there are a lot of dedicated Christians, like people who have been on the mission fields, who have been in third world countries feeding orphans in my wife's family, who are now, full metal jacket Trumpkins and think he can do no wrong, and that Jesus sent him to tell us the truth. I guess he's telling us the truth about how awesome it feels to have a hot piece of ass on your arm all the time, including his own daughter, if that's the truth that we're supposed to hear. But I really hope I haven't been misreading Jesus that wrong.
Well, then that means this whole thing about the dawning of Roy Moore libertarianism is bollocks. Roy Moore libertarianism has always been there. It was just
not libertarian.
Exactly. And it was half of the Ron Paul movement. They left the Ron Paul movement, that half that became, libertarian, and then half of that movement. So you had the half of the Ron Paul movement that left the GOP altogether, and part of them, I'd say you break it into three groups. One group became politically apathetic and was just done. Those people probably eventually voted for Donald Trump. Then you had the ones in the middle who never should have been there in the begin with. They didn't understand liberty. They just thought that not liking the government was the same thing as supporting liberty. And then the other third became people like yourself and myself, who to one degree or the other became conscientious objectors of government in general. And to different degrees, either to the lesser degree like yourself, where you wanted to limit it to the point that you could choke it to death in the toilet, or myself, who wants to have already choked it to death in the toilet, and flushed it as well.
So speaking of manhood and choking things over the toilet, here's a headline as I'm scrolling the headlines, trying to find things that are relevant today as we retread an election from 5 years ago regarding our Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson. Headline, USA Today. Tillerson says his manhood remains intact despite Trump's Twitter outburst.
Oh, did
the actual thing.
Did something happen and I missed it?
Yeah.
I was doing important things, so like what Trump does on Twitter, I really don't care.
Well, this wasn't about what Trump did on Twitter. This is about what Tillerson did after a meeting with Trump, which is called him a moron, and it was overheard by multiple officials. Tillerson said Trump has not castrated him publicly. I checked, said Tillerson. I'm fully intact.
This is not The Onion. This is USA Today.
All right, well, we'll get into that and a whole lot more when we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Little child running wild. Watch your wild.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. Coincap.io.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Final segment of tonight's live broadcast. It's been a pretty good show. We had some great guests on earlier today. A little bit of technical difficulty when we first got started off, but slowly but surely we are getting the hang of this whole on-time production thing. I like it better. I like not having to listen to the same exact thing every single show. Being able to switch it up, jump between genres, you know. I'm a real musical kind of weird guy, though, so, you know. Tom.
Yes, sir.
Why are you on the air? You should totally be, like, barefoot running through the sand with your wife right now. And instead, you are talking to us.
My wife's in bed, dude. She's been dealing with the kids all day. She didn't want to run anywhere. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. You left today, didn't you? Tomorrow is when you're going to relax. Yeah. Tonight you sleep. Tonight we sleep. Tomorrow relax.
I mean, it's not like I have anything else pressing to do. All I was going to do tonight was sit out on this balcony with my iPad in front of me and listen to the waves, and I'm doing that. I just also happen to be on the radio, so if a thought crosses my mind, I can, share it. Now, before I left this morning, though, and I mentioned this during the break, I had a debate on callout.com, which is callout with a Q. A lot of our listeners and our guests of the site are resident debaters there. We debate things for money, if we're lucky enough to get into one of those tournaments. And the proposition I debated this morning was libertarians should support the pro-choice movement. I was calling on this. My opponent was pro. His argument basically boiled down to, I was going into it expecting, the usual, well, here's why libertarians should be pro-choice or should support abortion rights, et cetera, et cetera. But his actual argument was, not only should libertarians support the right to an abortion, however you want to define that, they should specifically support giving government money to Planned Parenthood, because if they don't do so, they will look like they're supporting pro-life, and nobody likes the pro-life movement anymore.
What?
This was his actual. I was very careful not to jump on this argument until the third time it actually came out of his mouth, because I didn't think he could possibly be saying this. But my opponent.
So we have Roy Moore libertarianism, and now we also have Bernie Sanders libertarianism. Is that what's going on here?
That was basically what I said to him.
Hillary Clinton libertarianism.
Hold on, But this was his actual argument, and he's Australian, so he is approaching this from a point of view of international politics. But he actually
I thought he was a normal libertarian.
He wasn't really. He was basically saying libertarianism should evolve because if it doesn't embrace these nice things people like government to pay for, libertarianism will die.
Oh, he's Anthony DeLugos, only with an accent.
Something like that.
Charles Peralta with an accent.
To his credit, he made this case very passionately, and he was not doing so for political gain, but for monetary gain. And he wasn't arguing his point.
Filthy capitalist.
Well, yeah, but he was arguing it because that's the point he was assigned to argue. He takes that side of the two between the argument, sure, between the pro and the con. But his motivator was to try to get the money. So he's not trying to sell books or anything. He just thinks this is the thing. And I'm not. Here's what's kind of grinding my gears right now. I am losing this debate right now by about 2 votes. And I'm really not sure how. And because all of the comments from people who regularly comment on the site are very long, explaining exactly what you guys are thinking right now. Wait a minute, you're basically saying libertarian shouldn't be libertarian. All I can figure out is that it's Sunday, and the Aussies and the Kiwis have been awake for longer.
Well,
so I could really use some people's votes on this. It's callout with a Q, QALLOUT.com. You can find my pretty mug, Citizen Tom, debating Liam with 2 M's. This is round 3 of the September qualifier for the big annual debate in December. And if I win this round, then I get an automatic qualifier into the December debate, and I'm on to the money round. And that's my kid's Christmas. So if you think that I made a good enough case for why this person is wrong, I would really appreciate your votes, please.
I was looking. I know there was some kind of a quote about never mistaking passion for like knowing what you're talking about. Because you're like, oh, he said it and he was so passionate. But only thing I can find is never mistake asthma for passion.
Never mistake asthma for passion?
Yeah.
That's true.
That's all I can ever find.
But I tend to think that comes up more in the romantic context of the, oh, he's tickling me with a banana leaf. Sweet God, I'm allergic to bananas variety.
Oh my God. I think there's this new thing in the modern oh, there we go. Always go with your passion. Never ask yourself if it's realistic or not. Maybe that's where it comes from.
But wait a minute.
It's just believe. If you're passionate, just believe, and that's what's real. That's Deepak Chopra. The always go with your passions. Never ask yourself if it's realistic or not. That's Deepak Chopra. But I mean, to me, that's like, don't worry about, physics or the realms of reality at all. If you think that you can make magic flying boots, then you can make magic flying boots. If you think you can fly to the moon on a ding-dong, then you can't.
Well, I mean, that is essentially the liberal position, is argue from emotion, be passionate, and don't present anything that looks anything like logic.
Yeah, I mean, to his credit, he presented logic. The problem was it was logic that requires you to deny the basic tenets of libertarianism.
Yeah, but that's become libertarianism now. I mean, as party libertarianism, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, well, here's the thing.
Well, I mean, it's still emotion. If you should care what other people think. Care, it has emotional connotations. So at the end of the day, he's still arguing emotion.
Yeah, but he's trying to argue, argue it from a point of gathering votes, But here's the thing. He made the comment at one point, libertarians need to take the moderate libertarian position when it comes to government funding. And I was like, well, let me read to you the platform of the Libertarian Party, which any libertarian that I socialize with would tell you is at best the moderate wing of libertarianism. Where in their platform they say essentially taxation is theft and the government shouldn't fund anything.
Yes.
That is the moderate libertarian position.
But the new argument since the Johnsonites have gotten in and basically taken over and run everybody else out is over whether or not libertarians should be taking a government welfare check. Like, it's now a goal. We want to get to 5% so we can get the welfare, or 15%, whatever the percentage is where you get a government welfare check. That's the goal now. We want to hit that number so next year we can get that government welfare check. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. If we want to be, credible, we have to moderate on this and take the government money that we totally condemn being collected to start with.
Yeah. I just, if the argument is that to get that money or to advance the cause, that libertarians should go moderate, I think there is some moderate position in between taxes are theft and government spending is always bad and we should just fund everything so everybody's happy.
The problem is that if you don't have the first, any step to the left from the first statement, taxation is theft, funding government bad, any step to the left of that eventually becomes 250 years later, Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah. But anyway, callout.com with a Q. Please vote for me.
All right. Well, this is it for us this week, guys. It's been Will, Tom, and Aria tonight here on the Call to Freedom. Next week, we are going to have more guests, more news, and more libertarian drama. When we get back, Call to Freedom next week, 10 p.m. here on LRN.FM.
Surf's up, dudes.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit did your nerves spike. You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same great prices, and LRN gets a cut. Please do your online shopping at shop.lrn.fm. Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at LRN.FM. The latest edition of the Anarchopreneur is next on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Get more at NathanFraserShow.com.
Nathan Frazier Show, episode number 76. Is it okay to mix business and politics? Trigger warning.
Government is inefficient and should be dissolved.
What government should actually do is just leave people alone to buy and sell freely among themselves. If they just leave self-interested traders to compete with one another, markets are guided to positive outcomes as if by an invisible hand.
It's free markets that are moral because you only succeed if you meet the needs and wants of other people.
One of the hard things for people to understand is that the more you try to control an economy, the more quickly it falls apart.
Capitalism, God's way of determining who is smart and who is poor.
What is up, Free Market Squad, in the place to be? Thank you for taking a half hour out of your week to hang with me. My name is Nathan Frazier. I am the host of this here podcast, the high priest of propaganda. But you, more importantly, you are the Free Market Squad. And today on this podcast, we're going to be talking about, some announcements actually at the end of the show concerning the future of this podcast. But before we get to that, though, we're going to be talking about mixing business with politics. Is it okay to mix business with politics? As a business person, should you let your political feelings be known? Yeah. It's, you know what it is. It's what's going on right now, and it's having repercussions. So we're going to talk about that, and let's just jump right into it, actually. So everywhere from like Twitter to the nationally televised sports games out there, sports ball, it seems like to Grammy acceptance speeches, and it seems like you just can't escape people's political opinions nowadays. Even people who have careers and are in the public forum seem to be just as happy to express their political opinion with at the same level as the average uneducated American with any kind of social media account does. So not just lacking education, but lacking empathy, lacking the ability to see things from other points of view. Seems like people just in general are all too happy to express their political opinions, and business owners are kind of the people that shy away from that. Business owners historically are the people that are like, look, if you own a business, you just keep your mouth shut about politics. And there's reasons why they say that. And we're going to cover, because first of all, I'm guilty. I'm somebody who always runs my mouth about my political beliefs. And I'm also somebody who finds it incredibly annoying when celebrities do it. So I'm a big, giant hypocrite, just like most other human beings. So I'm going to talk about when it's okay, when it's not okay, reasons why to do it, reasons why not to do it. And I'm going to say, I'm going to leave it up to you to decide for yourself at the end of the show. Is it okay for you to mix your business with politics? Let your political opinions be known, even as somebody who owns a business. So why not? Why should you maybe consider not expressing yourself politically, using your platform to make a political statement? There's kind of a lot of reasons why. First of all, you're eliminating half of your potential customer base, especially nowadays with how divided people are. I mean, some people will flat out refuse to do business with people who they don't share the same ideological values with. Just look at companies like MTV or events like the Emmys or the MTV Movie Awards. Viewership is plummeting on these mainstream celebrities celebrating celebrities events that used to garner all kinds of attention, but and maybe it's not just the blatant political agenda that it just seems to just permeate every single award ceremony nowadays. But most people that I know, even people that that agree with some of the stuff they say or agree with the majority of stuff they say, but definitely the people that disagree, the reason that they've stopped tuning out is because they're sick and tired of having these people's politics shoved down their throat. And in Hollywood, especially since we're talking about that, like most conservative actors, conservative directors, like they just won't speak their mind. They won't talk politics at all because they know that it will close a lot of opportunities for them if they vocally go against the mainstream narrative of Hollywood, which is liberal. So, and again, I don't really have a dog in the fight between conservatives and liberals. Conservatives have their pluses and their minuses. Liberals have their pluses and their minuses. And I just kind of see it that way. I don't want either one of them. I want conservatives to stay out of my bedroom. I want liberals to stay out of my wallet. And neither one of them seem to really care what I think. So I'm not a big fan of either one. But it is what it is in Hollywood. There's definitely a liberal bias, and the fact is that most conservatives in Hollywood are afraid to express their ideas, or maybe for business reasons, maybe they're just smart and they refuse to, or they avoid expressing their political ideas because it's just a smart business decision. Marvel Comics right now is, and this sucks for me because I'm a huge comic book fan. Like I grew up escaping reality through reading comic books, and I loved Captain America and Spider-Man and Luke Cage and Johnny Blaze. I loved Marvel Comics when I was growing up. I also liked Image Comics and read Ninja Turtle comics back in the day. So I loved comic books growing up. That was just one of my things. I loved drawing. I loved reading comic books. I thought they were awesome. I can't read Marvel Comics anymore. Like Marvel Comics has just gone off the deep end. It's just constant political agenda, and it feels kind of like their company's been taken over by social justice warriors, and those social justice warriors have declared war on the fan base. And here's what I mean, and then I'm going to explain why this is kind of a bad thing, that the political agenda has become so strong with this company. They've gone through and they've replaced all of the classic characters. They've kind of deplatformed Peter Parker and replaced him with a black guy. They've gone and they took Captain America and turned him into a Nazi and replaced him with Sam Wilson, who was already an awesome character as the Falcon. There was no need to, it was basically like saying Sam Wilson's not cool enough as the Falcon. He doesn't stand on his own. He needs to be Captain America to be a viable character. Maybe that wasn't their thinking, but I loved Sam Wilson as the Falcon. Ever since way back in the day when I was reading Captain America comics, I always liked Falcon more than I liked Captain America, but I liked him as the Falcon. He was a strong character as his own character. And then they had to take him and shoehorn him into Captain America's role and turn white Captain America into a Nazi and black Sam Rogers, the Falcon, into Captain America. I just lame. It totally disrespectful of both characters. They've taken Wolverine, another one of my favorite classic characters. They've taken him and they've replaced him with a girl. That's just what they're doing. They're like, they hate the fact that their main fan base is males. And I don't even want to say white males, because growing up in the neighborhoods that I grew up with, I knew a lot of black and Mexican kids that read comic books too. But they've gone through and it's like they hate their fan base and they want to eliminate their fan base and they want to cater to a fan base that's not there. That, like, just in general, girls don't read action adventure male comic books as much as boys do. It's just the way that it is. And a lot of comic book readers are like males like myself that grew up reading comic books back in their heyday and still love the medium. And Marvel Comics has decided that the main demographic that buys, they're just ideologically opposed to them. They see it, and here's what it is: they've replaced all these characters with one-note characters with because they're super like liberal and they want to be super PC, and I think they're afraid to give any of the characters any depth. They're afraid to give them any flaws. The thing about a good character is the characters need to have flaws. They need to have setbacks. They need to have things that they have to overcome. That's part of being a good character. And these writers that have taken over, all these social justice warrior writers that have taken over Marvel Comics, they're afraid to give. They've gone through and replaced all the white people that were easy to write flaws in, because you don't have to worry about any PC crowd coming down on you for it. They've replaced them all with quote unquote minority characters, and they're afraid to give them any kind of flaws because they're afraid to look sexist. They're afraid to look racist. They don't want to give a black guy any character flaws whatsoever, because then they might be saying secretly that they think all black people are like this, which is just not the case. It's total collectivist groupthink bullshit. And just because you have one character that has one flaw doesn't mean that every single person of in reality of that same skin color or that same gender has that same flaw. That's like the most racist, sexist way that you could view the world, and yet they view it that way, so they're afraid to create decent, flawed characters that you can actually care about. So they have all these Mary Sue characters that never have to deal with any problems whatsoever. Though, you know, everything comes easy to them because, and they never make mistakes. They're always awesome, perfect, pillars of virtue. Because God forbid you ever show a minority or somebody that's not a cis white gendered male as being flawed. It's insane. And so their total inability to interact with reality when developing these characters, and their inability to create characters with flaws that we'll actually care about, has left every single comic book that they're publishing just completely boring, completely worthless, completely not worth reading. And just, it's like, on the surface level, they have diversity. They're like, I'm a girl, I'm a black person, I'm a Muslim girl. But that's the only thing that their character's about. It's like all these one-note characters where the only personality trait they have is their surface level diversity checklist feature. Sorry about that rant, but it just pisses me off. But that's what Marvel Comics has done. They've like planted their flag on the hill of social justice, and they've said anybody who, and this is the worst thing about it, is they pull the Barack Obama thing. If you don't like it, it's because you're racist. So if you don't like female Wolverine, it's because you're sexist. If you don't like Black Spider-Man Miles Morales, it's because you're racist. And that's bullshit, because here's the deal. Comic books have always had great diverse characters. Like I mentioned Blade earlier. I loved Blade. The movies were awesome. The comic book was awesome. He was an awesome character. He had flaws. He was a badass. But he had things that he had to overcome, and he had setbacks in his story arcs. And he made for a very compelling character, and they're totally afraid to write him that way. He's been completely wiped out of the Marvel universe, and the only times that he makes an appearance, it's like some joke appearance where he's like a delivery person, or he's a substitute teacher. But they've completely killed the actual character of Blade. It's disgusting. But if you complain about it, it's not because you don't like bland characters. It's because you're racist. It's because you're sexist, and that's what they do. They shove their political ideals down your throat. And here's the deal: they're artists. I get it. Artists tend to lean left. I'm an artist. I know growing up, I tended to lean left. We want to be, especially if you suck at your art, you suck at your writing, like a lot of the people in Marvel do right now. You want to be judged for your ideals rather than for your ability to sell. And a lot of them are just like flat out communist. And it's really bad to have flat out communist in top levels of your business, because all of a sudden you see what's happening. Communists are attracted to communism because they're not valuable to the marketplace. And they want to be paid the same as everybody else, even though they're not willing to produce what other people want. And so communism appeals to him. So Marvel Comics now has a bunch of communists, like openly communist people in high ranks in their business, and their business is plummeting. So I don't know. Personally, my politics are kind of far out there, and I don't shy away from them. And there's a couple of reasons why. David, the guy that I produce, one of my clients I produced the Copywriters podcast for, David Garfinkel, he always tells me, Nathan, if it doesn't lead to the sale, leave it out of the copy. And that's great advice. And I have trouble following it. So I know that most of my political rants that I post on Facebook, some of the stuff that actually makes it into my emails, some of the stuff that makes it into podcast episodes, probably not leading to the sale of what I am eventually trying to sell, which is copywriting services and marketing services and podcast hosting. Probably some of my political opinions don't help lead to the sale. So I should probably just leave them out of my sales copy, leave them out of my promotions. A lot of people, that's what they think when they look at these football players expressing their politics in the middle of the game. They look at these actors expressing their politics in the middle of an award ceremony. They look at comic book owners or comic book creators expressing their politics in the middle of what I paid $5 to be entertained by, and instead I'm getting politics shoved down my throat. It's not leading to the sale. In fact, in a lot of these cases, it's leading away from the sale. So you got to ask yourself on an individual level, is it worth it? Is it going to help lead to the sale? And I'll kind of explain why I do it, because I feel like I know my market. I know the people that I want to work with. As far as podcasters, I want to work with people that are, I want to host podcasting for people that are all about free speech, and that even goes for people that are, have things to say that I don't agree with. I'm totally willing and happy to take the money of people who want to say things I disagree with and give them podcast hosting, because I'm an advocate for freedom. I'm an advocate for free speech, and I'm an advocate for taking people's money. So that's just the way that it is. But more so than that, so I guess when I do my emails that I'm pitching to my podcast mailing list, probably a little bit toned down than the stuff that I send to my business, like marketing and copywriting consulting leads. Or copywriting writing leads. That list, that target audience, I'm a little bit more open with my political beliefs, further than just freedom of speech, but free market, capitalism, anti-socialism type beliefs. And it's because, again, I know my market. I know the people that I want to go after. I want to go after business owners. I want to go after people that are that understand that Marxism and collectivism and socialism are not good for the businessman. And specifically, they don't have to agree with me on that stuff. Most of them do, but most business owners are smart. Most business owners do realize that. And also, I don't want to work with people that are afraid of making profits or that think profiting is a bad thing. I want to work with people that are all for increasing profits as much as they possibly can, as long as it's done ethically, as long as it's done without lying to people, without manipulating people, without taking advantage of people. And that's what my services are all about, is helping people make the most profit possible. And if people have hangups about profit is bad and profit is exploitation, first of all, they're probably not going to be business owners anyways. But I don't want to work with people like that. So I make it known that I disagree with that type of stuff. I want to work with people that embrace capitalism. I want to work with people that embrace business ownership and embrace marketing and aren't going to be afraid to let me write some of the sales letters that I write. Some good marketing is always edgy. Good marketing is often fought back against by regular business owners. Lefty-leaning business owners tend to give me more pushback, so I tend to not really want to work with them. So I allow some of my political beliefs to creep out into my messaging, and again, it's on an individual basis. Should you do it? I don't know. Is it something that your target market will embrace? Is it something that your target market will reject? That's really the determining factor there. And it doesn't have to just be like in my situation. It's really easy to be open about my politics because my target market I know has my politics. Um, and for most businesses, maybe not so much. There are a couple businesses that do it well. I think Ben and Jerry's, even though I disagree with a lot of the stuff that Ben and Jerry's stands for, I think they do it well. I agree with some of their things. I disagree with some of their things. The positions that they hold, the values that they attribute to their business, appeal definitely to people more on the left side of the aisle, and that's okay because those people. And here's the deal: those people that buy Ben and Jerry's over other ice creams because of the public stances, the socially conscious stances that Ben and Jerry makes. Those people will buy Ben and Jerry's over other pieces or other options of ice cream. And people who don't really care but just like Ben and Jerry's product, they'll probably say, you know what, I don't agree with Ben and Jerry's on maybe this one or two issues, but they make some damn good ice cream. And since Ben and Jerry's whole platform isn't those things, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. Just like people that were pro-gay marriage, but still bought Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A makes a damn good chicken sandwich. Here's what it's about. If you produce something phenomenal, people will forgive the slight areas where they either disagree with you or they're dissatisfied with you. If every day you go to work, you bust your ass and give 110%, when you one time are too opinionated at a business meeting, you know what? We're going to let that slide. Everybody makes their jackass moments, and 98% of the time, this guy goes above and beyond, or this girl goes above and beyond. So we're gonna go ahead and turn a blind eye to the one time that they said something kind of stupid in the middle of it. That we can forgive it. We can forgive it if the overwhelming majority of the experience with you is constant, awesome deliverance of whatever it is that we appreciate from you. You can have differing opinions on certain things, and we can deal with that. But if that's all you do, if you don't provide value to people, like a lot of people